everyone, I'm Ali. There was a very popular romance drama in China recently called A Dream of Splendor. Just like the story of Minglan and Serenade of Peaceful Joy from a few years ago, this drama was excellent at capturing the beauty of Song Dynasty lifestyle and fashion. But when it comes to the core of a drama, the storyline, A Dream of Splendor is far from being splendid. There are some major flaws to the story and characters, especially of the protagonist, Zhao Pan'er. So let me explain my point, and you can decide whether or not this drama is worth your time. The original story was written 700 years ago during the Yuan dynasty by Guan Hanqing, who is considered the best playwright of the time. The story takes place during the Song dynasty. It's about a woman named Zhao Pan'er using her wits and saving a friend from an abusive marriage. The original story is funny and inspiring. It touched upon the lives of the bottom of the society and brought a clever, capable, and fearless female protagonist to life. The drama adaptation, on the other hand, tried hard to have Zhao Pan'er tell you how much of an independent woman she wants to be, but the plots and her actions were just showing how reckless and incompetent she was. And in the end, she had to be saved by the male lead every single time. For example, when Zhao Pan'er was appealing for her friend in the court, the scriptwriter made the judge penalize her by giving her 20 strikes on the back, just so that she could be saved by the male lead. This was not in the original story. Another example is when she was chased out of the city and gave up, the male lead urged her to go back, and then his sidekick gave them a long-term place to stay. At this point, Zhao and her friends had a realization. We're very lucky to have Gu Qianfan helping us, but in the future, we shouldn't be asking him for favors anymore. It's good to be independent. If we have to ask for his help to do everything, then how are we different from servants? Okay, let's see what she did after saying this. First, she took revenge on her enemy by using Gu's sidekick. She later asked Gu's sidekick for another favor. Then she asked Gu directly for help. Yep, these all happened soon after her line of, we shouldn't be asking for favors anymore. The cycle carried on and on. When Zhao Pan'er went to visit a high official alone, she was saved by the male lead. When Pan'er offended her peers in the industry and couldn't run her business anymore, the male lead solved the problem. When she went to her enemy's home alone and almost got killed, again she was saved by the male lead's sidekick. Even her enemy could see the real situation clearly. Gu Qianfan is in prison now. She's just a common girl. She doesn't have anyone to rely on anymore. Not only does Zhao Pan'er rely heavily on Gu's power and position, she also shamelessly asked Gu for money multiple times. You tell him I need to open a restaurant but don't have enough money. Ask him to transfer some to me. The reason was that she wanted to purchase a big building which cost 1.2 million coins. You can think of it as $1.2 million today. But between her and her friends, all of their assets combined were only worth 700,000 coins. And she wanted Gu, her boyfriend at this point, to cover the rest, which is 500,000 coins. Is this normal? I mean, they're not even married or engaged. How can she ask for so much so casually? And what about her idea of wanting to be independent and not asking for favors? In the end, she was saved one more time by Gu in the court from the same fate of receiving strikes on her back. Don't get me wrong though, I like watching female leads being saved by male leads. It's very romantic. There's also nothing wrong with females asking for help. However, the scriptwriter had Zhao Pan'er declare many times in the drama on how much she valued being independent and accomplish things without men's help, but her actions said the complete opposite. Compared to the original story written from 700 years ago, Zhao Pan'er seemed like a different person. The original Pan'er took out her personal savings right away to save her friend, but here she chose to borrow money from Gu, even though they were merely acquaintances to each other at this point. Not to mention, she still had 500 gold buried in her home. The original Pan'er never said anything like, a woman has to be independent, but she showed us how things are done. Actions speak louder than words. On the other hand, the drama version only showed us how she can't accomplish anything without the male lead's help. If you're wondering how come the drama deviated this much from Guan Hanqing's story, that's because it only took 6 out of 40 episodes to tell the original story, and the rest is all new writings. In the process though, the scriptwriter created many inconsistencies in Zhao Par's words and actions. For example, when Par tried to convince Gu to not care about the crime his father committed on her family, she said, "Did you harm my father? Did you know my mother? We didn't know each other 20 years ago. What kind of grudge are you talking about?" But I remember in the very first episode, she tried to poison Gu and his colleague simply because they are from the same division that ransacked her family 20 years ago. And this was after Gu saved her life earlier. She claimed that opposite sexes should keep a distance from each other, but let Gu touch her hands like this.
What?
Oh, by the way, this was on her way to finding her fiancé, who she claimed to have loved very much for 3 years. After Par got into a relationship with Gu, she told him that her and her ex-fiancé only loved each other but kept the proper distance according to Chinese standard, meaning she kept her chastity. And guess what? After saying this, she went into bed with Gu right away. So what is her standard exactly? She said herself that she lost her home at age 9 and was sent to Jiaofang, an entertainment organization run by the government. She was then rescued at 16, so that means she stayed in Jiaofang for 7 to 8 years at most. But later she said she stayed for 10 years, and another time she said 10 plus years. The scriptwriter apparently didn't bother checking their own plot settings. Zhao Par also had many unethical behaviors. On the boat, when Gu fainted, she looked at Gu's letter without his permission and checked how much money Gu carried so she could borrow them later. In order to grow her business, she paid people to spread rumors among her rivals to steal their customers, etc., etc. The Chinese drama market in recent years has been filled with low-quality productions. It's rare to see a decent-looking drama without all the heavy skin smoothening filters, CGI backgrounds, and laughable plotlines. That's probably why A Dream of Splendor stood out. It's no doubt a visually pleasing production, but its shortcomings are also quite obvious. This modern twist of Zhao Par was a big disappointment compared to the original story. She lost all the good qualities the original character possessed. Instead, this is just a shallow, modern romantic soap opera wrapped in a historical shell. This is a very common issue among Chinese period dramas nowadays. This drama also ridiculed all male characters, except for the male lead and his sidekick, just so that all the female characters can shine. In comparison, other female-centric dramas, such as the Korean drama Jewel in the Palace, did a great job developing the protagonist's character without bashing on the opposite sex. So, have you watched A Dream of Splendor? What are your thoughts on this drama? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.